The night was darker than usual. Thick clouds covered the moon, and the forest was silent, almost too silent. Only the soft sound of crickets filled the air. David walked through the narrow path of the forest, holding a small flashlight. He was a young scientist, only 24, curious and a little stubborn. Tonight, he wasn't supposed to be here, but something strange had happened. Earlier that evening, people in the town saw a bright flash of light in the sky, like a falling star, but much bigger and brighter. Many thought it was just a meteor. But David, he felt it was something more. As he walked deeper into the forest, a low humming sound began to echo around him. It wasn't a normal sound. It was sharp, cold, and almost alive. His heart started to beat faster. Where is this coming from? David whispered to himself, his voice shaky. Suddenly, the trees opened into a small clearing. And there it was. In the middle of the clearing lay a glowing object, half buried in the date. It wasn't like anything David had ever seen before. It was smooth, metallic, and pulsed with a soft blue light, like a heartbeat. David froze. For a moment, he couldn't breathe. What is this?" he muttered, taking a slow step forward. The humming grew louder as he got closer. His flashlight flickered and died, leaving only the glow of the strange object. The air felt heavy, charged with static. David crouched beside it. His fingers trembled as he reached out, almost touching the surface. Suddenly, the object shifted and released a sharp burst of light. David jumped back, his eyes wide. The glow dimmed again, but now faint symbols appeared across its surface. Strange alien markings, moving like living creatures. David's scientific mind raced. This isn't a meteor. This is technology. Advanced technology. Not from Earth. He looked around nervously. The forest was silent again, but he felt like someone, or something, was watching him. Fear gripped his chest, but curiosity was stronger. He carefully lifted the object. It was surprisingly light, almost weightless. As soon as he held it, the humming softened, as if it recognized him. David whispered, "Incredible. I have to study this." He wrapped it in his jacket and hurried back toward his small cabin on the edge of town. Inside the cabin, David placed the object on his work table. His room was messy, filled with old machines, wires, and books. He turned on his desk lamp and stared at the object. As he studied it, he noticed something even stranger. It seemed to react to his emotions. When David felt calm, the glow was steady and soft. When he grew excited or scared, it flickered and grew brighter. "This is impossible," he said, rubbing his forehead. "It's alive." David reached for his notebook to take notes. But as soon as he touched his pen, the object spoke. A deep, mechanical voice filled the room. "Human will detect it. Integration beginning." David froze, his mouth open. Who said that?" he whispered, spinning around. The voice came again, louder this time. "Integration beginning." The object floated into the air, glowing brightly. David stumbled backward, knocking over a chair. His heart pounded in his chest. "No! Stop! What are you doing?" he shouted. The object shot forward and pressed itself against David's chest. A sharp pain ripped through his body. He screamed and fell to the floor. Strange glowing lines spread across his arms and neck, like alien veins. His vision blurred. He saw flashes, strange planets, tall alien figures, and a giant war raging across the stars. And then, silence. David gasped and sat up. The object was gone. No, not gone. It was inside him. Breathing heavily, he looked at his hands. The glowing marks slowly faded, but a faint blue shimmer remained under his skin. What's happening to me?" David whispered, terrified. The next morning, the town was buzzing with news. "Did you see the light last night?" "They say it was just a meteor shower." "No, I heard soldiers are looking for it." David stayed quiet, hiding the truth. He wore a long-sleeved shirt to cover the glowing marks. As he poured himself coffee, the TV played a local news report. A reporter stood in the same forest David had visited. "Authorities are investigating a strange event that occurred last night. Witnesses reported seeing a bright object crash here. Officials claim it was a small meteorite, but locals believe otherwise." David turned off the TV, his hands shaking. This is bad. If they find out, they'll take it away. They'll take me away. He tried to focus on his breathing, but then the voice returned, inside his head this time. Human will connected. More integration required. David grabbed his head, panicking. No, I don't want this. Get out of my mind. But the voice only repeated. More integration required. Suddenly, David's body moved on its own. His hand slammed into the table, and the wooden surface cracked under his touch. His eyes widened in shock. I didn't mean to do that. Night fell again. David sat alone in his cabin, scared and confused. Maybe I should destroy it. Maybe that's the only way. Before he could think further, the voice spoke one final time, colder than ever. Warning. External threat detected. Prepare for conflict. David's blood ran cold. What threat? He asked. Through his window, he saw a black SUV parked near the forest. A figure in a black suit stepped out, speaking into a headset. David didn't know who they were, but he knew one thing. They weren't here to help. The screen fades to black as the alien voice whispers, "They are coming." David didn't sleep at all that night. He sat on the edge of his bed, his hands trembling. His body still felt strange. Every few minutes, a faint blue glow appeared under his skin and then faded. The alien voice was silent now, but David could feel it watching him, inside his mind. He whispered to himself, "This is not real. I'm dreaming. It's just a nightmare." But deep down, he knew the truth. This was very real, and there was no way to escape it. Morning light crept through the curtains. David tried to act normal. He dressed quickly, covering his glowing marks with a hoodie. When he touched the doorknob, something strange happened. The metal melted slightly under his grip. David jumped back in shock. What is happening to me?" he muttered. His breathing quickened. The alien voice returned, calm and robotic. Physical enhancement, stage 1 complete. David froze. Enhancement? No, I didn't agree to this. The voice ignored his protest. Your will and mine are now connected. Resistance will cause pain. Suddenly, a sharp pain exploded in David's head. He screamed, clutching his skull. It felt like his brain was burning. The moment he stopped resisting, the pain vanished. David collapsed to his knees, gasping for breath. Okay, I'll listen. Just stop the pain. The voice went silent again, leaving David shaken and terrified. Later that day, David tried to test his new abilities in secret. He lifted a heavy table with one hand like it weighed nothing. He ran across the room in a blur, his feet barely touching the ground. He even punched a wooden wall, leaving a deep crack. At first, a small part of him felt amazed. "This is incredible," he whispered. "I'm stronger, faster." But then fear took over. No, this isn't me. This thing is controlling me. While David was struggling, far away, in a dark underground facility, a group of people watched his every move on large monitors. A man in a black suit stood at the center. His name was General Crane, the ruthless leader of a secret organization. His cold eyes studied David's glowing marks on the screen. Crane turned to his soldiers. "The Corps has bonded with a host. This is our chance. Bring him to me, alive." One of his agents nodded. "Understood, sir. We'll deploy the hunters immediately." That evening, David was sitting at his desk, trying to figure out what to do. He scribbled notes in his journal, drawing the symbols he had seen on the alien object. Suddenly, his phone buzzed. It was a message from Maya, his childhood friend. "Hey, I heard about the weird light last night. Are you okay?" David felt a wave of comfort reading her message. She was the only person he trusted. He replied quickly, "I'm fine, just tired. Can we meet tomorrow?" For now, he couldn't tell her the truth. It was too dangerous. But David didn't realize that danger was already on its way. Outside, 2 black-clad hunters moved silently through the forest toward his cabin. They wore advanced helmets and carried strange weapons. One of them whispered through his communicator, "Target located. Moving in." Inside, David felt uneasy. The alien voice spoke again, louder this time. Threat approaching. Prepare for combat. David stood up, panicked. What threat? What are you talking about? Before he could react, the front door burst open. The two hunters stormed inside, their weapons glowing red. Get down! One shouted, firing a blast of energy. David dove behind a table as the blast shattered the wall. Fear surged through him, but with it came power. His veins glowed bright blue, and his muscles tightened. The alien voice roared inside his mind. Defend yourself or die. David didn't want to fight, but his body moved on its own. He lunged forward, punching one hunter so hard he flew across the room and crashed into the wall. The second hunter swung his weapon, striking David's back. Pain burned through him, but instead of falling, David roared in anger. The alien tech formed a partial armor around his arms and chest, glowing and humming. With one final strike, David knocked the second hunter unconscious. His breathing was heavy, his eyes wide with shock. He stared at his glowing hands. What am I turning into? David staggered outside. The black SUV he had seen before was gone, but he knew more people would come. The alien voice spoke calmly. Host compatibility confirmed. Power level increasing. David shouted into the night, "Stop talking. Just leave me alone." But deep inside, he realized the truth. This thing was now a part of him. Meanwhile, at the underground facility, General Crane watched the failed mission on the monitors. The two hunters lay unconscious, while David stood strong, glowing with alien energy. Crane's lips curled into a cold smile. Impressive. The Corps has chosen well. He turned to his men. Send more hunters. This time, don't underestimate him. The boy is dangerous, but I want him alive. Back at his cabin, David sat alone, shaking. His mind was full of questions and fear. Why had the object chosen him? Who were those men? And most terrifying of all, what would happen if he lost control completely? The alien voice broke the silence, whispering one chilling sentence. Integration is only the beginning. David looked out the window at the dark forest. Somewhere out there, powerful enemies were coming for him. And deep inside, another enemy was growing, one that lived inside his very soul. Fade to black. The night was cold and silent, but David couldn't sleep. He sat near his window, staring at the glowing lines on his arms. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw flashes of strange visions, alien worlds, massive ships, and a war he didn't understand. His breathing was heavy. This thing inside me, it's changing me, he whispered. He wasn't sure if he was still human. The alien voice echoed softly in his mind. Integration level, 30%. Power increasing. David pressed his hands over his ears. Stop. I don't want your power, he shouted. But the voice stayed calm, cold, and unfeeling. Your will is weak. Survival requires strength. David shivered. Survival? Survival from what? Far away, in the underground facility, General Crane watched David on a live satellite feed. David's glowing mark shimmered on the screen. Crane's eyes were sharp, calculating. He defeated 2 of our hunters, one agent said nervously. We underestimated him, sir. Crane didn't look angry. Instead, he smiled, a dark, chilling smile. Good. That means the Corps is fully active. He turned to his team. Deploy the next squad. This time, he doesn't walk away. The next evening, David decided to leave his cabin. He needed someone to talk to, someone he could trust. And there was only one person he could think of, Maya, his childhood friend. Maya lived in town, and she had always been there for him. She was smart, kind, and never judged him. David grabbed his hoodie and left, keeping his head low. When Maya opened her door, her face lit up. David, I was so worried, she said, hugging him. David smiled weakly. For the first time in days, he felt safe. I need to tell you something. But it's crazy, he said. They sat on her couch, and David told her everything. The glowing object, the voice, the hunters, and the strange powers inside him. Maya's eyes widened with shock, but she didn't interrupt. When he finished, she placed her hand on his. David, no matter what this is, we'll figure it out. Together. Her words brought tears to David's eyes. Thank you, Maya. I don't know what I'd do without you. But what David didn't know was that Maya was hiding a terrible secret. Earlier that day, Maya had received a mysterious call. A man's cold voice said, "We know about your friend. Bring him to us, and you will be rewarded. If you don't, you will both be destroyed." Fear filled Maya's heart. She didn't want to betray David, but she also didn't want him, or herself, to get hurt. So she made a choice, a dangerous one. While David and Maya talked, the hunters were closing in. 6 of them this time, wearing advanced armor and carrying strange weapons that glowed red. Through their headsets, General Crane's voice commanded them, "Capture the host. Eliminate anyone who interferes." The hunters moved silently through the dark streets, like shadows. Back inside Maya's house, David suddenly felt uneasy. The alien voice spoke sharply. "Warning. Hostile forces approaching." David jumped to his feet. "What? Where?" The window shattered as 2 hunters burst inside. Maya screamed. David's body reacted instantly. Blue energy surged through him, and the alien armor formed across his chest and arms. One hunter fired an energy blast, but David dodged with superhuman speed. He grabbed the attacker and threw him through the wall. The second hunter swung his weapon at Maya, but David blocked the strike and knocked the hunter down. "Run, Maya," he shouted. Maya hesitated, fear in her eyes. "But David—" "Geo," he roared. She ran outside, but instead of escaping, she quietly reached for her phone and sent a single message. "Target confirmed. Bring backup." The battle raged on. 4 more hunters stormed the house. David fought fiercely, but they were prepared this time. One of them fired a net of red energy that wrapped around David's body, shocking him. "Aya!" David screamed as the electricity burned his skin. His knees buckled, and he fell to the ground. The alien voice roared inside him. "Resist. Your will is your weapon." David clenched his fists and screamed with rage. The blue energy exploded outward, shattering the net and throwing the hunters back. Breathing heavily, David stood tall, his eyes glowing bright blue. "You won't take me," he growled. With incredible speed, he defeated the last 2 hunters, leaving them unconscious. But the fight left him weak and dizzy. Maya returned, pretending to be worried. "David, are you okay?" she asked, rushing to his side. David smiled tiredly. "I'm fine. I think. I don't know who these people are, but they won't stop coming." Maya hugged him tightly, hiding her guilty tears. "Don't worry. We'll get through this," she whispered. But in her pocket, her phone buzzed with a reply. "Good work. Keep him close. We'll handle the rest." Far away, General Crane watched the footage with cold satisfaction. He turned to his soldiers. "The core is powerful, but the boys still trust the wrong people. That will be his greatest weakness." He leaned closer to the screen, his voice dark and commanding. "Soon, he will belong to me." That night, David and Maya sat quietly in her living room. David stared at his glowing hands, lost in thought. "Maya," he said softly, "promise me, if anything happens to me, you'll run. Don't look back." Maya swallowed hard, tears welling in her eyes. "I promise," she whispered, even though she knew she was already part of the trap. As David drifted into uneasy sleep, Maya looked at him with guilt and fear. She loved him like family, but she had betrayed him, and soon he would find out. The screen fades to black as the alien voice whispers in the darkness. "Trust is a fragile thing." The sun had not risen yet. Darkness still covered the town as David sat alone in Maya's living room. He hadn't slept all night. His arms were glowing faintly, the strange blue veins pulsing under his skin like they were alive. He stared at his reflection in the window. His eyes looked different now, brighter, almost alien. A shiver ran down his spine. "This thing inside me, it's changing me more every day," he whispered. The alien voice spoke softly in his head, calm but cold. "Integration level, 50%. Full merge approaching." David's hands clenched into fists. "No, I won't let you take control of me," he shouted. The voice replied, emotionless. Your resistance is useless. Survival requires unity. Before David could argue, Maya entered the room with 2 cups of coffee, pretending to be calm. "You didn't sleep, did you?" she asked gently. David shook his head. "Maya, I keep hearing the voice. It's like it's inside my mind, showing me things." He rubbed his temples, frustrated. "I see visions, worlds burning, battles, creatures I can't even describe. I don't understand any of it." Maya sat beside him, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. "It's okay. You're safe here," she said softly, though her heart raced with guilt. She knew she was lying. She knew people were watching them right now. Meanwhile, far away in the underground facility, General Crane studied a holographic map. A red signal pulsed on the screen, the alien tech's energy signature. Crane smirked. "The signal is getting stronger," one of his scientists reported. "The core is merging with the host faster than we expected." Crane's eyes glimmered with hunger. "Good. Soon, the boy will lead me to the source of this power." He turned to his team of hunters. "Do not kill him. We need him alive. But if anyone stands in your way, destroy them." Back at Maya's house, David suddenly clutched his head in pain. "Maya, it's happening again," he shouted. The alien voice grew louder, echoing through his mind like thunder. "Warning. Enemy signal detected. Activate link protocol." David fell to his knees as a wave of energy surged through his body. The room around him disappeared, replaced by a strange vision. He was standing in a vast, dark void filled with stars. A towering alien figure appeared before him. Its body was made of pure light, its eyes glowing like twin suns. Who are you?" David stammered. The figure spoke in a deep, rumbling voice. "I am the core intelligence of my people. Our world was destroyed by war. We sent pieces of our technology across the stars, seeking a worthy host, a mind strong enough to carry our legacy." David's heart pounded. "Why me? I didn't ask for this." The figure's voice grew colder. "Your will is powerful, human, stronger than most. But if your will breaks, I will take full control, and your planet will become mine." David gasped. "No, I won't let that happen." The vision shattered, and David collapsed back into the real world, panting and drenched in sweat. Maya knelt beside him, pretending to be worried. "David, what happened?" He grabbed her arm, his voice shaky. I think I understand now. This thing inside me, it's alive. It wants to merge completely. If I lose control, it'll take over my body and maybe the whole planet." Maya's eyes widened, not just with fear, but with guilt. She didn't know things were this dangerous. Later that night, David sat by the window, lost in thought. The alien voice had gone quiet, but he knew it was still there, watching, waiting. Suddenly, Maya's phone buzzed. She quickly checked the message in secret. "Bring him to the old factory tomorrow night. If you fail, you both die." Maya's hands trembled. Tears filled her eyes. She didn't want to betray David, but she had no choice. When David turned to look at her, she forced a smile. "Everything's going to be okay," she lied. The next day, David tested his powers in the forest. He could now jump incredible distances, run faster than a car, and even form blue energy shields around his body. But every time he used these abilities, the alien voice grew louder, stronger. At one point, David punched a tree so hard it exploded into splinters. He stared at his glowing fists, terrified. "This isn't power, it's a curse," he whispered. The voice responded coldly. "Curse or gift. Choice depends on the strength of your will." That evening, Maya nervously suggested they go to the old abandoned factory. It's safe there," she said, avoiding his eyes. "We can hide from whoever's hunting you." David hesitated. "Are you sure about this?" "Yes," she said quickly. Her voice cracked, but David didn't notice. When they arrived, the factory was silent and dark. The air smelled of rust and dust. David felt uneasy. "This place doesn't feel right," he muttered. "Stay close to me." As they walked deeper inside, lights suddenly flickered on. Dozens of armed hunters appeared, surrounding them. David's eyes widened. No. Maya, what is this? Maya's face crumbled with guilt. I'm sorry, David. I didn't want to do this, she cried. They said they'd kill us both if I didn't help them. Before David could respond, General Crane stepped out of the shadows, his black coat swaying. He smirked, his voice cold and commanding. Well done, Maya. You brought me exactly what I wanted. David's heart shattered. Maya, you betrayed me, he whispered, tears forming in his eyes. Crane raised his hand, and the hunters aimed their weapons. David, you have something I need, Crane said darkly. Join me willingly, or watch everyone you love die. The alien voice surged inside David's mind, louder than ever. Warning, external threat overwhelming. Whole survival depends on full integration. David screamed in anger and pain as blue energy exploded around him. The screen fades to black with a final whisper. The battle for control has begun. The abandoned factory shook with the sound of heavy boots and whirring machines. David stood in the center, surrounded by dozens of armed hunters. Blue light glowed faintly under his skin, his chest rising and falling as anger boiled inside him. But the real pain wasn't the hunters. It was Maya, the girl he trusted more than anyone, the girl who had just betrayed him. David's voice cracked as he stared at her. Maya, why? Maya's face was pale, her eyes filled with tears. I didn't want to. David, she cried. They said they would kill us both if I didn't bring you here. I had no choice. David's hands trembled. You were my only friend, the only person I trusted, and you sold me to them. Maya stepped forward, desperate. I was trying to save you. But before she could say more, General Crane walked between them, tall and menacing. His dark coat swayed as he approached David, his sharp eyes glowing in the dim light. Crane smirked. Touching story, but enough of this drama. The core inside you belongs to me now. David's fist clenched. It doesn't belong to anyone. Not you, not me. Crane tilted his head, amused. Oh, David, you don't understand. That alien tech inside you is a key to creating an army of super soldiers. With it, I will control this world. The alien voice in David's mind growled. Warning. Hostile force must be eliminated. David ignored it, his focus on Crane. You'll never get it. I'll die before I let you use this power. Crane's smile vanished. So be it. Hunters, take him down. The hunters charged. Red energy blasts filled the air. David roared as the alien armor burst across his body, glowing bright blue. He leaped forward, moving faster than human eyes could follow. His fist slammed into the ground, creating a shockwave that sent hunters flying. But there were too many. They swarmed him, wrapping energy nets around his arms and legs. David struggled, screaming in rage, but the nets tightened, burning his skin. The alien voice thundered in his head. Resist. Your will is your weapon. David closed his eyes and focused. No one controls me, he shouted. A wave of pure blue energy exploded from his body, shattering the nets and throwing every hunter backward. For a moment, silence filled the factory. Even Crane looked impressed. Remarkable, he muttered. The perfect weapon. David turned to Maya, his face filled with pain. Run! Get out of here before they... But a blast of red energy struck David in the back, cutting him off. He fell to the ground, gasping. His armor flickered, fading in and out. Crane stepped forward, holding a strange, glowing device. This weapon was built to disrupt the alien tech, he explained with a cold smile. It weakens you. David tried to rise, but his limbs felt heavy. No, I won't give up. Crane crouched beside him. You don't have to fight me, David. Join me willingly. Think of it. You could rule this planet by my side. David spat blood and glared up at him. I'd rather die. Crane sighed, then nodded to his hunters. Very well. Beat him until he has no fight left. The hunters attacked again. David fought as best as he could, but the disruptor weakened him badly. Each blow hurt more than the last. Through blurry vision, he saw Maya crying, screaming for them to stop. Please, you're killing him. Crane grabbed her arm and yanked her back. Silence. This is what happens to those who resist me. As David lay on the ground, blood dripping from his lip, the alien voice spoke urgently. Warning. Host will not survive. Emergency protocol. Takeover mode. David's eyes widened. No, you can't. Take control, he gasped. But the voice was relentless. Your will is failing. Surrender, and we will survive. David screamed, forcing himself to stay conscious. I won't let you win. This is my body. The glow in his veins flickered wildly as his human will battle the alien presence. Suddenly, Maya broke free from Crane's grip. She ran to David, kneeling beside him. David, I'm so sorry. I thought I was protecting you, but I only hurt you. Her tears fell onto his bruised face. Please, forgive me. David looked at her with weak, tear-filled eyes. I forgive you, Maya. He managed a small smile. But you need to run, now, before it's too late. Maya sobbed. I won't leave you. You have to. David shouted with the last of his strength. Crane raised his weapon, aiming at Maya. If she won't leave, she'll die here with you. David's eyes burned with rage. No, he roared. The alien energy surged uncontrollably. David's body transformed, glowing so brightly that even Crane shielded his eyes. His voice became distorted, half human, half alien. No one hurts her. With terrifying speed, David struck down every hunter in his path. The factory walls cracked as the energy inside him raged like a storm. Crane retreated, shocked but excited. Yes, yes, show me that power, he shouted, laughing. When the battle ended, David stood in the center, panting heavily. The hunters lay unconscious around him. His glowing armor flickered, unstable. He looked at Maya with sorrow. I don't know how much longer I can fight it, he whispered. If my will breaks, the alien takes over. Maya grabbed his hand. You're stronger than it, David. I believe in you. But before they could escape, the alien voice echoed coldly. Integration at 70%. Host resistance failing. David's knees buckled. His eyes glowed brighter, almost fully alien now. Maya gasped in horror. David, stay with me. He whispered one final warning before collapsing. Run, Maya, before it's too late. The screen fades to black as General Crane's voice is heard over a radio. Is powerful, but is breaking. Prepare the final phase. The night was silent, but inside the abandoned factory, the air felt heavy with fear. Maya knelt beside David's unconscious body, shaking his shoulders. David, please wake up, she cried, her tears falling onto his glowing skin. The strange blue veins under his skin pulsed wildly, like they had a life of their own. David's chest rose and fell in uneven breaths. His face twisted in pain, as if he were fighting an invisible enemy. Suddenly, his eyes snapped open. They weren't fully human anymore, half blue, half dark, glowing with alien light. Maya gasped and stumbled backward. David, it's me, Maya, she said softly. It's okay. You're safe now. But David didn't answer. When he spoke, his voice was two voices mixed together, one human, one cold and alien. We are not David. Maya's heart dropped. No, please, fight it. Don't let it take you. Inside David's mind, a battle raged. He stood alone in a dark void, facing the towering alien figure from before. Your will is weak, human. The alien boomed. Surrender, and I will save you. Together, we will conquer this planet. David clenched his fists. No, this is my body, my mind. I won't let you control me. The alien's glowing eyes narrowed. You are dying. Without me, you are nothing. With me, you are unstoppable. Flashes of Maya appeared in David's mind. Her smile, her tears, her voice telling him to fight. He screamed, I am not a weapon. The void cracked like glass as David's human will clash with the alien force. Back in the real world, Maya watched helplessly as David's body partially transformed. The alien armor spread across his chest and arms, sharper and darker than before. His movements were jerky, unnatural, like a puppet being controlled by invisible strings. "David, please. You're stronger than this," Maya begged. David turned his head toward her, his eyes glowing fiercely. "The human is irrelevant." Maya's heart broke. "No, you're still in there. I know you are." Suddenly, the factory doors burst open. General Crane and a squad of heavily armed hunters stormed in. Crane's cold smile returned as he saw David's unstable form. "Perfect," Crane said. "The alien is almost in full control. Soon, he'll be the ultimate soldier." He raised his hand, pointing at Maya. "Capture the girl. She's a distraction to him." Two hunters rushed forward, grabbing Maya. "Let me go," she screamed, struggling against their grip. David's alien side reacted violently. Blue energy crackled around his body, and his distorted voice roared. "No one touches her." In a blur, he attacked the hunters, tearing through their weapons like paper. His power was overwhelming, even terrifying. But as he fought, David's human voice screamed inside his mind, trying to regain control. "Maya, please run. I can't stop it much longer." Crane watched with fascination. "Look at him," he said, almost laughing. "More alien than human now. Exactly what I wanted." He turned to his soldiers. "Keep him fighting. The more he loses control, the easier it will be to capture him." The hunters obeyed, surrounding David and firing their energy weapons. But every attack only made him stronger, his alien armor glowing brighter. With a furious roar, David sent a shockwave across the room, knocking everyone back, including Maya. She hit the ground hard, groaning in pain. David stumbled forward, clutching his head. His human voice burst through for a brief moment. "Maya, run, while I still can," he shouted desperately. Maya crawled toward him instead. "No, I'm not leaving you," she cried. "You saved me once. Now it's my turn to save you." Her words cut through the alien control like a blade. For a split second, David's glowing eyes flickered, half human again. The alien hissed inside his mind. "Her weakness is your weakness. Remove her, and you will be free." David dropped to his knees, shaking violently. "No, I won't hurt her," he groaned. "This is my choice, my life." Crane saw the struggle and grew furious. "Enough of this," he shouted. He grabbed a high-tech weapon from one of his soldiers, a massive energy cannon. He aimed it directly at Maya. "If I can't control you, David, I'll destroy what you love most." The cannon powered up with a terrifying hum. Maya froze, terror in her eyes. "David!" she screamed. David looked up, his human and alien sides merging in a moment of pure rage. "No one hurts her," he bellowed. In an explosion of blue light, David's body moved faster than ever before. He shielded Maya just as Crane fired. The blast hit David's back, sending him crashing into the wall. Maya screamed, rushing to his side. "David, stay with me." David coughed, his voice weak but human again for a moment. "Maya, you have to go. If I lose control completely, I'll destroy everything." Tears streamed down her face. "No, I'm not leaving you." But before she could say more, David's body convulsed violently. The alien voice roared louder than ever. Integration at 90%. Host resistance failing. David's eyes glowed so bright they lit the entire factory. His voice was now fully alien. "This planet will be ours." Maya backed away, horrified. The man she loved was almost gone. Crane watched with pure excitement. "Yes! Finally! The perfect weapon!" he shouted. But Maya wasn't ready to give up. She wiped her tears and whispered, "David, please, remember who you are. You're not a weapon. You're my friend." For a brief second, David's alien form hesitated. A flicker of humanity shone in his glowing eyes. The screen faded to black as the alien voice whispers chillingly, "Final integration, imminent." The night sky glowed an unnatural blue above the ruined factory. Energy crackled in the air, shaking the ground like an earthquake. David stood at the center of it all, his body almost completely alien now. His glowing armor had grown darker, sharper, and more terrifying. Only faint traces of his human face remained. Maya stood a few feet away, trembling but refusing to run. Her heart pounded, but she clenched her fists and shouted, "David, please, fight it. You are stronger than this thing." David turned slowly, his glowing eyes filled with a cold, alien light. When he spoke, his voice was no longer his own. "David is gone. We are one. This world will belong to us." Maya shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "No, you are not gone. You saved me before. Remember? You protected me when no one else would." She placed a hand over her heart. "You told me once that you'd rather die than hurt anyone. That man is still inside you." For a brief moment, the alien energy around David flickered. Deep inside, his human voice screamed, trying to break free. "Maya, run, before I lose control completely." General Crane stood on a broken platform above them, watching like a king admiring his creation. He laughed, his voice echoing through factory. "Magnificent! The perfect soldier, the ultimate weapon. Soon, he'll destroy the world, and I'll rise from its ashes." Crane turned to his remaining hunters. "Prepare the containment device. If he destroys the city, we'll need to capture him alive." Maya's anger boiled over. "You monster! You caused all of this," she shouted at Crane. "You used David, and now you want to use his power to rule the world." Crane smirked. "Exactly, and there's nothing you can do to stop me." David's alien side lifted its clawed hand, aiming at Maya. Blue energy swirled, ready to strike. The alien voice boomed. "Remove the weakness. Eliminate her." "No." David's human voice roared inside his own mind. He appeared again in the dark void where he'd fought before, facing the alien being. The alien towered over him, glowing and monstrous. "You are finished, human," the alien hissed. "Your body is mine. Your will is broken." David fell to his knees, exhausted and bleeding in the vision. But then he saw images flashing around him, Maya smiling, Maya crying. The day they first met, the moment she forgave him for everything. Her voice echoed softly. "You're not a weapon, David. You're my friend." David clenched his fists and stood tall, glaring at the alien. "No, you don't control me. This is my body, my mind, my choice." The alien roared and charged at him, but David's will burned brighter. He shouted, his voice full of rage and love. "I am human. I am David." In the real world, David's alien form froze. The glowing energy around him flickered wildly, unstable. Maya gasped as she saw his human face fighting to return. "David, you're winning. Keep fighting," she screamed. But Crane wasn't about to let David escape his control. He raised the disruptor cannon again and aimed at Maya. "If I can't control him, I'll break him," Crane snarled. "Watch her die, David." He fired. Time seemed to slow. David saw the red beam streaking toward Maya. Something deep inside him snapped. A roar unlike anything human or alien burst from his throat. In a blur of speed, David leaped in front of Maya, taking the full blast at his chest. The impact sent shockwaves through the factory, collapsing walls and shattering windows. "David!" Maya screamed, grabbing him as he fell to his knees. His armor cracked and shattered, revealing his human face beneath. He coughed, blood staining his lips, but he smiled weakly. "Maya, are you safe?" he whispered. She sobbed. "Yes, but you're hurt so badly." Crane stared in disbelief. "No, this isn't possible. The alien should have fully taken over." David slowly turned his head toward Crane, his eyes glowing softly, but this time with pure, human will. "You were wrong, Crane," David said weakly but firmly. "I'm not your weapon. I'm not anyone's weapon." Summoning the last of his strength, David raised his hand. The alien core inside him glowed brilliantly, brighter than ever before. With a final scream, he unleashed a massive energy wave, destroying Crane's weapon and throwing the general across the room. The factory shook violently, flames and sparks erupting everywhere. The hunters scattered in terror. Maya held David tightly. "You have to stop. If you use too much power, it'll kill you," she cried. David smiled faintly. "It's the only way to make sure the alien is gone forever." "No." Maya begged, gripping his hand. There has to be another way. He looked into her eyes with love and determination. Thank you for believing in me, Maya. You saved me when no one else could. Before she could respond, David placed his glowing hand on his chest. The alien voice screamed in fury. No, do not reject us. We are eternal. David roared back. I choose my own fate. There was a blinding flash of light. When the glow faded, David and the alien energy were gone. Only Maya remained, kneeling in the ruins, her tears falling silently. In the distance, General Crane stumbled to his feet, burned and defeated. This isn't over, he growled before disappearing into the shadows. Maya whispered through her sobs, Goodbye, David, you saved us all. Weeks later, Maya stood on a quiet hill, overlooking the rebuilt city. She held a small pendant David had given her long ago. I'll keep fighting, David, she said softly, for you. As she turned to leave, a faint blue glow flickered in the clouds above, and a familiar, gentle voice whispered in the wind, Maya, I'm still here. The screen fades to black, leaving one final message. When alien tech meets human will, the strongest force is a heart,